What's going on YouTube? This is going to be a review of the Glock 43x. This is the standard version. There's also an MOS version which comes cut with an optic. So first thing we're going to do is just make sure that the gun is clear. There's no mag at it and no round in the chamber. Gun is completely clear. And I'm just going to talk about my personal experience with the gun. Personally, definitely enjoy it. It is a great overall carry. The barrel itself is about 3 inches. You'll notice a few things about the gun, which is the slide serrations. These slide serrations, my personal opinion, if you've been using Glocks for a while, you might already be used to it, but they're pretty thin. So it's sometimes hard to get a full grip behind this and rack it back. So oftentimes I gotta have to overhand it. So it depends if it works for you or not. I prefer my slide serrations to be a little bit more deeply cut and aggressive so I can get a better grip on it. Out of Glock triggers, I would say this one is one of the better ones here. This is where the wall is, and that's your break. So right here is where your reset on your trigger is going to be. So overall, the trigger has a pretty nice pull. It does allow you to get some good shots down on the range. There it is again. And overall, I could say that I definitely enjoyed the trigger on this one. It's not my favorite for the types that I prefer, but nonetheless, for Glock triggers, this is one of the better triggers because thing with Glock is that they can be pretty hit or miss. Sometimes you have a good trigger on Glock, other times they're not so great. But this particular one, my personal opinion is that the trigger is pretty good, and others have said the same. Out of the box, you're going to get 2 magazines. These are going to be 10 plus 1. So you have your 10 round magazines. You can add one in the chamber. You'll get 2 of these in the box, and you'll also get a gun lock, which is going to be very important for obvious reasons. Always make sure that you're abiding by the 4 rules of firearm safety. Keep those around you safe. As far as the grip goes, I think Glock did a little bit more of a better job. They're pretty flat, so a lot of times people would put some additional stippling or texture on it to kind of give it a more comfortable feel. I have personally shot this outside, and sunny South Florida where I live, the weather here gets pretty hot, so it's easy to get sweaty when you're shooting down range with this if you're shooting outdoors. And over time, this starts to really start to slip out of your hands. So it might be worth considering looking at maybe like a Talon grip or getting some custom stippling on it. But performance wise, this gun has performed very accurately, especially for a concealed carry gun that usually carries more recoil. The gun has performed pretty accurately, and it is a good shooting experience overall. But some of the things I think could be better is the grip, because that's one thing that can get a little bit uncomfortable after a while. But overall, it's a pretty straightforward gun. You have your 10 plus 1 mag, 3.5 inch barrel, if I'm not mistaken. Decent trigger pull. Could be better on the grip, but depends how you like your grip. I personally like a little bit more rough texture. Something more like sandpaper type of grip is usually what works for me. But nonetheless, pretty good overall. This is a concealed carry gun, so it's not always going to be your all-around fit for every purpose that you want. This one here doesn't come with a tactical rail, so you can add that. There is a tactical rail that you can purchase on Amazon to just adjust it into it, and then you can add a light if you wanted to. So that's something that's pretty good, is that they have aftermarket options like that. And you can also add the Shield Arms S15 magazine. I believe now they have a Gen 3, which gives you 15 plus 1. And that one is a little bit more reliable than the previous generations from what I'm being told. So that's something that you can check out as an additional upgrade. But again, if you look at the slide, it's not cut for an optic, but they do have an MOS version, which brings you the rail and also is cut for a red dot. So that's an option that you could look at. And they also have the Glock 48, which comes with a longer barrel. Essentially, it's the same gun. They come with the same frame. It's just a different barrel length and different slide on it. So a lot of people on YouTube, what I've seen have done is that they actually take this slide and they replace it for a 48 barrel from an aftermarket company. And you can go that route if you like. I personally prefer to keep the gun stock if I'm going to be carrying it. This gun has shot already through 1,000 rounds. I've had no failures with it. at all. Glock is pretty known for their reliability, so I would say this gun has definitely held up to that perfection when it comes to their marketing of reliability. This one has performed very well for that. Accurate, reliable, and it's comfortable to carry. So for an EDC all around carry gun, definitely recommend. I mean, you can't ask for more. This is a good all around gun to have on you in times of need. Now, if you want to go ahead and customize it, that's something that you can definitely do. Personally, I like to keep my EDC bare bones to ensure that it's going to be reliable. Some people like to change the trigger, but again, the more parts you change, the more you introduce the potential for failures. So that's just something to keep in mind. I personally like to keep my gun the way it is when I'm carrying it. And if I have a ranged toy or home defense, I might upgrade those. But like I said, this one is definitely recommended. It's on the top charts as a EDC for a reason because it's accurate, reliable, and it's trustworthy. So if this is something that you got value of, just go ahead and drop a like button. Make sure you comment anything I might have missed and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Have a great day.